Finally, something about Super Smash Bros. On the Switch 2. Now, today's information is very interesting because we don't exactly know what it means. But of course, Smash Bros, bro. We need a Switch 2 Smash Bros game. I am a little bit surprised it didn't launch with a Smash Bros game, or at least have one within the first year, because I think they would have announced it by now. And once the Switch 2 has reached 1 year of age, I just don't think it's gonna have a Smash Bros game on it. But today's information, like I said, it's very interesting. And it's a big rumor. I don't really know what to take of it. And I would absolutely love to know your thoughts about this specific rumor today, because it's definitely an interesting one. And let me reiterate, this one is a rumor, but apparently something is coming for Smash Bros. So we have Kiwi Talks over here on Twitter saying, these are my 4 favorite game franchises of all time. And it is great that I know all 4 IPs have stuff coming soon in a year or two. GTA 6 November, another Metroid game on the near horizon, Smash Bros in the next year or two, and another Zelda game and the movie in 2027. So we had that huge Nintendo leak, and of course that has also revealed the new Zelda game, maybe 2 Zelda games actually, and then the new Metroid game, and obviously GTA 6 has been confirmed, but that's like, of course, aside the point. But Smash Bros in the next year or two, weird, very, very weird. So obviously anybody that saw this was thinking, oh my gosh, Smash Bros Switch 2 exclusive game. That is huge. And let me say this, it very well could still be a Smash Bros Switch 2 exclusive game, but now, because of the other information that has to follow this, it could just be some sort of Switch 2 port or remaster or like DLC, whatever, that brings Smash Bros Ultimate over to the Switch 2. Which is not the best case scenario. That is not what we want. Smash Bros Ultimate is great, but we all want a brand new Smash Bros game. And I know a lot of people want another Smash Bros game with just kind of like the core Nintendo characters, and rather than having all of the third-party characters. Definitely do see the viewpoint of, just wanting to use Nintendo characters. And that's exactly what they did with Mario Kart World, is instead of having some of the other random characters, it's pretty much just Mario characters across the board. So I feel like they could kind of give the next Smash Bros game that same similar treatment as far as the, characters in the game goes. Kiwi also said, people are misquoting me again. Nowhere in this tweet did I say any of these games are new. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't, but I was vague for a good reason to protect devs, so it could be new, it could be a spin-off, it could be a remaster, it could be something on the Switch Online service. Somebody said, wait, you know about all 4 of these? Kiwi said, of course. Meaning, I guess that does mean there will be something Smash Bros related. Everything else we've had leaked, right? We've had leaks and stuff, about all the other stuff. So a new Smash Bros game. I think it would be their best case scenario to actually give us just a brand new Smash Bros game. A brand new Switch 2 exclusive game, especially since, a lot of fans hate the Switch 2 right now because there's not enough, even though it's going to be fine because these big games will come out. But we've been talking time and time again about that Nintendo General Direct. When is it going to be? Hopefully this summer. It's got to be June. I'm really, really thinking it's going to be June, because they have to announce the other big games that they have yet to announce just yet, so we can actually be hyped, save up our money. And it seems like we pretty much know the monthly releases for the upcoming Nintendo first party games up until, I believe, June. I don't think there's anything after June on the top of my head that has been officially announced yet. I feel like they could also probably just bring over a Smash Bros game to the Switch Online service, which, that is always fun. I do like when they do that, but I always prefer an individual game on its own cartridge or a brand new game, just because, I don't know, playing a brand new game is fun. I love playing older games, but it's just fun to play them on original hardware, or a lot of people just have played those games so many times that they just want something new, I guess. A lot of people are conflicted though, because Sakurai was working on that new Kirby Air Riders game that just dropped a couple of months ago. So with that being said, was he working on a Smash Bros game alongside that, or maybe they are just starting on a Smash Bros game now and they will release it in 2 years, because it does say in the next year or two. 2 years is definitely a lot of time, but I feel like with video games, I don't know, it takes definitely many, many years to fully develop and create a video game. And Smash Bros is not a game they want to mess up. This is a game that they have to get right, because it's like the biggest, or at least one of the biggest IPs that Nintendo has, because obviously it's Smash Bros, dude. There's a lot of stuff that goes into a Smash Bros game, more so than just adding, new characters and map building. Like, there's all of the internal stuff, and the competitive side of it, that definitely makes it a difficult game to build. Kiwi did say that he's vague on purpose to protect the developers, because obviously if real core, insane information does get out there to the public, Nintendo probably could track down exactly who got that information out there and, fire them, just as simple as that. So obviously he wants to protect the people that are the internal sources at Nintendo. So it's either going to be a brand new game, could be a spin-off, which I don't really know how a spin-off of a Smash Bros game would really work. It could be even a remaster or a port of an older Smash Bros game, or like I said, a Switch Online game. And of course, with the other information like the Metroid game, of course, that is in that big leak that should be coming out. But if this is going to be a Switch 2 edition of Smash Ultimate, people are going to be very upset about that. Fans don't want to have a, update to an 8-year-old game, which who can blame them? Once again, nothing against Smash Ultimate. It's a great game, but it's just the simple fact that we keep running into this issue with modern video games where these things get dragged out forever. And then of course we have the Switch 2 problem where there are many games that have a Switch 2 version that just, add a couple things, a paid DLC. Now that would not be great. If it's a free thing, like a free update for Smash Bros. Ultimate, that would be really cool, but I still think we will get a Smash Bros. Game new for the Switch 2 eventually. I just don't know when, because like I said, it's not a game they want to mess up. So if they are going to release that, it could be in the middle of the Switch 2 lifespan. It could be late in the Switch 2's lifespan, or it could be in a year or two, or maybe they have been working on it. Maybe it's been in ultra secret and they have this game ready to go or almost ready to go. Could this be one of the big hitter games that they are going to announce in this next Nintendo General Direct? I always think anything is possible because, with Pokemon, they announced Mega Raichu X and Y. Nobody knew about that. That was not in the Terra leak. That was not in any sort of leak. We knew of all the other Mega Evolutions when that game was coming out, but not Mega Raichu X and Y, so that was a pretty big shock. And of course, Nintendo, they do things all the time that are just very odd, such as the Star Fox Direct, literally just randomly announcing that 10 minutes beforehand, and then boom, they went live. So I wouldn't say it's too far-fetched to say they could just, at any given moment, give us this brand new Smash Bros. Game announced during this next Nintendo General Direct. Obviously, that's not what this rumor was saying. This rumor was specifically saying that there's something with Smash Bros. Within the next year or two. I think one of the most concerning things with Smash Bros. Ultimate, what if they announce more characters because people are really mad at the roster size of this game and they don't want there to be as many characters. So an update or a DLC, whatever, for Smash Bros. Ultimate probably would add more characters, and I feel like fans may or may not be okay with that. Or just repetitive news, you know what I'm saying? People honestly just don't really care for the overabundance of those third-party characters, even though, it is fun. At the end of the day, I feel like it's fine because it's not like this next Smash Bros. Game is going to be littered with third-party characters, but hey, I don't know. You never know. You never know. If we were to get a brand new Smash Bros. Game, I definitely think it would have a smaller, more curated roster with pretty much first-party characters, maybe a couple third-party too. I feel like the movesets would be totally different. Obviously, everything would be rebuilt from the ground up, and of course, I do think game modes will be very present in this. I feel like they'll have different game modes, bunch of brand new game modes, unique bosses, more story elements, which I think would be really cool, and definitely, hopefully, more dynamic character interactions and different cutscenes. I mean, look at the Star Fox game, man. So many cutscenes. I'm excited for that. I actually am a cutscene lover. I used to hate cutscenes. I want to just be all action, all adventure, but I love both of it. I love the action, but I also do love the cutscenes, especially if the storytelling is amazing, of course. Just releasing a Switch 2 version of Smash Bros. Ultimate wouldn't be a way to satisfy fans. I feel like even the Switch Online service, in a way, would kind of make fans angry. I know that's kind of crazy to say, because Smash Bros. Fans obviously love these Smash Bros. Games, but they have played them all, and a lot of people just prefer to play it on original hardware anyway. So I feel like a lot of people just would prefer to have a brand new game. But let me know what you guys think. I really want to know exactly what you think about the next Smash Bros. Game. And if we don't get a new one, do you want a port or like a Switch Online service version of one of the older games? Maybe Kirby Air Riders did delay the next Smash Bros. Game development. I guess we will have to see, but I had to update you guys on this because it's definitely big news, and I'm sure there are things that I totally forgot to mention. So if you have an idea or some sort of theory behind this, please feel free to comment. Let me know your opinions because I feel like this is a big one. I feel like people will be very opinionated on this. Anyway, subscribe to the channel to help me reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.